A collective bargaining agreement, or CBA, is the single most important document in professional sports. It is a legally binding contract negotiated between the league's owners and the players' union, in this case, the WNBPA. This agreement meticulously outlines all the rules of employment. It covers player salaries, both minimums and maximums, the structure of the free agency system, travel standards, healthcare benefits, revenue sharing arrangements between owners and players, disciplinary procedures for on-court and off-court conduct. Think of it like the Constitution for the league's economic and operational framework, a foundational text that governs the relationship between athletes and teams. The current CBA is set to expire. That deadline, December 31st, 2025, really looms large over the entire league. This isn't just a procedural date on a calendar, it represents a critical inflection point for the future of women's professional basketball. The negotiations leading up to this deadline are a chance to address the sport's rapid evolution. The players, led by the WNBPA, are expected to push for a larger share of the league's burgeoning revenue, improved travel accommodations, like chartered flights for all games, enhanced long-term benefits. The owners must balance these demands with long-term financial stability and franchise profitability. The outcome will shape the league for the next generation of players and fans. Why is this deadline so significant? The most severe and disruptive potential outcome of failed CBA negotiations is a lockout. A lockout is a work stoppage initiated by the league owners, not the players. If the deadline passes without a new agreement, owners can unilaterally lock out the players. They can shut down league operations, team facilities closed to players, no practice, no treatment from team medical staff, no communication with coaches or front office personnel, all player salaries and benefits frozen. The league would grind to a halt until a new CBA is signed and ratified. From the owner's perspective, it's a powerful negotiating tactic, designed to put maximum economic pressure on players. Without paychecks, players might concede on key issues like salary caps, contract lengths, or revenue sharing. It's a high-stakes confrontational gamble. It signals a breakdown in trust and partnership, turning talks into an adversarial fight. For players, a lockout would be devastating financially and professionally. Most WNBA players don't have multi-million-dollar contracts, they rely on league salaries. A lockout disrupts career trajectories, lost year of development, lost opportunities. Players may seek opportunities overseas, scattering talent globally. Administrators, arena workers, broadcast partners, and sponsors all suffer. A lockout is not just a pause, it inflicts deep, lasting damage, threatening to undo years of progress. The most immediate and passionate group affected by a lockout would be the fans. For years they invested time, money, and emotion supporting teams. Time, money, emotion. A lockout would feel like a profound betrayal. The momentum generated by record-breaking seasons could be halted. Compelling rivalries and arrival of generational talents would be interrupted. Season ticket holders would be left with nothing to watch. Online communities driving growth would be filled with frustration, not celebration. The league risks alienating dedicated supporters and damaging its public image. Recapturing positive momentum after public dispute would be an uphill battle for marketing teams. Players' ability to secure endorsement deals would decline if they aren't visible on TV. Stars like Caitlin Clark, whose long-range shots draw attention, A'ja Wilson's MVP-caliber performances, a lockout would be a significant setback for player empowerment. Ultimately, a lockout jeopardizes the future the players are fighting to improve. A lockout shrinks the pie for everyone. Investors may walk away. It could lead to lower-value media rights, scaring off broadcasters, and harming long-term revenue. A far less dramatic and more common outcome is an extension agreement. If the two sides have made progress but can't finalize every detail, they can agree to extend the current CBA, often 1 year. This is essentially hitting the pause button on the doomsday clock. Both sides continue to operate under existing rules while they finish a long-term deal. It gives more time to iron out finer points without stopping the league. This prioritizes stability and continuity over confrontation. An extension avoids a work stoppage and keeps the 2026 season on schedule. Players report to training camp and fans get the games they love. Owners gain time to model financial impacts and formulate counteroffers. For players, it guarantees salaries for another season but delays significant gains they seek. On the plus side, it guarantees pay and allows skill development and brand growth to continue. On the downside, it means continued operation under rules they feel are outdated. It is stability in exchange for delayed progress, a pragmatic but imperfect choice. Requests like chartered flights, higher salaries, and improved revenue sharing would be put on hold. It essentially kicks the can down the road, ensuring the same fight resurfaces next year. The core disagreements remain. An extra year may not be enough to bridge them. It could leave the league in the same precarious spot with even more at stake. An extension maintains peace now but does not guarantee peace in the future. Life under a CBA extension would, on the surface, look almost identical to the previous season. For fans, the change would be virtually invisible. The schedule would be released, games would be played, the championship chase would continue. Rookie performances, veteran milestones, and rivalries would all unfold as expected. It protects the fan experience and allows the league to capitalize on popularity. For players and teams, it means business as usual, both comfort and frustration. It means many players would still fly commercial, a major point of contention. The salary cap would remain at levels the WNBA feels are too low. That limits earning potential for stars and the league's middle class alike. The fundamental tension would persist behind the scenes as negotiations continue. Publicly, the focus is on basketball. Privately, leadership remains in complex talks. Every media availability would include questions about the status of the talks. Lingering uncertainty could make it harder to secure long-term sponsorships or plan expansion. The biggest risk is that it delays the inevitable conflict, making the problem worse. It could breed cynicism among players and fans who see it as a temporary truce. Seen in that light, an extension can look like a temporary ceasefire. It maintains peace now but leaves the cloud of a future showdown hanging over the league. A third scenario: emergency short-term deals. A series of temporary rolling agreements. This happens if the CBA expires but both sides want to avoid a full lockout. They might sign 30-day or 60-day deals to keep training camps and early season games running. This is the most fractured and uncertain way to proceed. Chaotic and stressful. Players would live with constant uncertainty about whether the league will shut down next month. Routines and preparation break down when pay and employment are in flux. Players might hesitate to sign leases or make financial commitments. This instability could impact on-court performance as stress takes a physical toll. Coaches would struggle to keep teams focused amid the chaos. For general managers, it's a strategic nightmare: how to execute trades or manage cap when rules may change. It forces reactive short-term decision-making and paralyzes long-term roster building. Free agency could turn chaotic as teams hesitate to commit. For fans and the brand, a series of short-term deals projects instability. While better than a lockout because games continue, it signals the league is on life support. Broadcast partners and sponsors could lose confidence, damaging future deals. It's a band-aid on a major wound. Stops bleeding temporarily, doesn't heal the injury. Living deadline to deadline would keep headlines focused on dysfunction instead of the sport, undermining credibility. 3 potential paths forward: lockout, extension, short-term deals. Lockout: mutually assured destruction. It halts momentum, poisons relationships, and alienates fans. Extension: stability and pragmatism. Keeps the season going and revenue flowing. It prioritizes the health of the game in the short term, but it delays the underlying conflict. The core issues remain unresolved. Short-term deals. Organized chaos. Games continue, but the league looks fragile. They create immense anxiety and make long-term planning impossible. While preferable to a full lockout, they undermine professionalism. At stake is the very soul and future of the WNBA, a burgeoning cultural and economic force. The ideal outcome is a new, long-term CBA signed before the deadline. Can players and owners come together to forge a partnership that reflects this new reality? A signed CBA renders these scenarios moot, giving the league a path to keep rising. But if that doesn't happen, the path chosen will determine whether the WNBA continues its ascent or stumbles. Watch the negotiations. The deadline is real. The outcome matters, for players, fans, and the future of the game.